Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to apply a sealer properly to your concrete. Right here I'm working with a sample, and this is also the sealer is Omega from the Concrete Countertop Institute. So we're going by their directions. So if you do purchase Omega, be sure to follow those directions to the T. Um, this sealer that they make is more for professionals because there's a little bit more involved. Um, Usually takes a few hours to complete the sealing process from start to finish. So right now I'm just to kind of give you a quick overview before we jump into the audio and the video. Right now I'm priming the concrete, and this is basically using 7 parts water, 1 part sealer. I'm showing you a little sample off to the side, but this is 7 parts water, 1 part sealer. And what that is used for is to kind of help soak into the concrete. That way, once we do our finish coats, it'll lay out more evenly.
The concrete isn't sucking any more of that sealer or moisture. If you get at the right angle, you can see where I'm drying out a little bit here. Concrete is still pulling that sealer um, into itself. And that's good. So we want to just keep on applying sealer. We may dip our microfiber. It's got a microfiber coating with a sponge in the center to soak up a lot of sealer. And then we'll just keep on applying that until it starts to hold sealer on top. Grab a little bit more.
Again, we are just adding sealer until this concrete is no longer thirsty. It's going to start to dry out. Once it's has an even coating over the top, we can start to back roll. And I'm getting ready to show you that here in just a minute.
So basically, we're wanting to pull the excess sealer off. And what we'll do is we'll take this foam roller to kind of work it back into the concrete some more, and then lightly make some passes to soak up the excess sealer. When it's all said and done, we'll have very, very, very light film on top. Again, this is a soaker coat. It's got 7 parts water, 1 part sealer. So it's going to be very thin. The main part of this is just making sure we get the sealer down into the pores and somewhat kind of fill them up. This is huge. So right now I'm just kind of spreading this with this back roller. Now, if you've got large bubbles, you'll just keep on doing this. I'm going to put my phone down, and I will say before I do, my roller is soaking all kinds of sealer up right now, and it's full. I will squeeze it out, pat it dry with a towel, and then continue to go over this. I've got it spread out nicely, and now I'm just going to go over it lightly after I pat my roller dry. Okay, so I've dried out my roller. Now I'm just pulling up the excess. If it starts to dry out so much, don't go back. After you've back rolled one area, it's best to leave it. So this side's drying out fairly quick. I'm gonna go ahead and back roll these sides. I'm gonna call that done. If you see tiny bubbles, they will go away. There's no problem with that. This sample is done. I'll move on to this sample. Once I know that this sealer has soaked in to the concrete and is ready for another primer coat, which I probably will do 2 primer coats with this just to stay consistent. Once I know, you'll see that the sheen will go down. and start to mat out again. Starting to over here a little bit. Definitely going to give it more time. I'll show you in just a second what I am talking about. Getting ready to mix up my finish coats. I've got my part A and my part B Omega. I've also got on hand acetone and water to rinse out syringes, which is what we're going to be using to measure the sealer out with. And I just want to kind of show you how to mix it. And we're going to go by the directions. I'm doing 2 parts A, 1 part B. It is a 2-part system. I'm probably going to take out right around 40 milliliters and spray that in to my cup. And here's my acetone. I'll just right away, I'll just go ahead and soak some of that up and spray it out, and then soak it up one more time. And I'll do the same with this other syringe. This is a gas blanket you can get from Smooth On. Gives the sealer a longer storage life. You'll just pump that in there for a few seconds. Now we're on to the part B. Let me make sure we're still recording. Part B, I did 40 milliliters of part A, so we're going to do 20 milliliters of part B. Well, it's probably pretty important to use the same syringes versus, different ones. You just never know. So I got my 20 milliliters. That's going to go right into the cup with the part A. And then we start mixing. Actually, let's go ahead and close this up. I'll just spray that gas blanket in there for a couple seconds, close the lid. Alright, I'm done with these. Put these caps back on. Now I'll mix part A and part B together for 2 minutes. Okay, so I just finished mixing my part A and part B. It is important to let this set for 5 minutes. Get a timer, set it for 5 minutes. This is going to be the induction time. You want to give this part A and part B time to start to react with each other. There's some sort of chemistry that happens, and that's the magic in the pot. So we'll give this 5 minutes, and then we will add our water. I'll measure out my water, pour it into the sealer, mix it, give it a quick mix, and we're ready. Okay, so this has been setting for 5 minutes. I've got my water measured out, 1-to-1 ratio. Throw it in the water, or throw it in the sealer, and give it a quick mix. After I'm done mixing this, I'll pour it into my spray bottle, and we'll start on our finish coats. Okay, well, we're ready to add our finish coats. So get a nice controlled spray, and we'll start laying it out. It doesn't need a whole lot of material, thinner the better. We'll go down with some heavier pressure and then lighten it up to back roll the excess. And the top's done. Just need to get these sides. Again, I will do 3 coats of this. That's good. Something I mentioned earlier in this video after I finished the first primer coat was to know how to tell when the concrete is ready for the second application. I did not go into detail after that, but I'm getting ready to show you coming up in just a second. Okay, you can see that it now does not appear to be wet. You'll be able to see much better in person. Definitely advised to do a sample before you do a big project. Got a little bit of a sheen to it, but it's ready to apply my second finish coat. Okay, so I'm applying my third and final coat. I skipped the second coat. It's the same deal. I'm just gonna lay out a thin layer. Just spreading out the material. Now we will back row gently, hardly putting any pressure on this. Just to show you how thin this really is. This is going to help, along with the processing the concrete a certain way, 200 grit, muriatic acid. A thinner coat is going to help with scratch resistance a great deal. Again, don't worry about very tiny bubbles. They will fall and disappear. They will lay out. That's done. Okay, so that concludes our video. I hope this gave you a better understanding on how to apply Omega. With a lot of practice, you can make flawless looking concrete. But you've just got to make sure to put in the work on how to make the concrete and seal it properly. If you've got any questions at all, please feel free to comment, message me, comment down below, like and subscribe. Turn on your notifications for future videos that I will be putting out. Let me know if you'd like for me to go into more detail or shorten up the videos. And I hope this helped a lot. So again, this is Pete with Concrete Countertops by Pete. And you be you.